Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with something a little bit different for the weekend. Now, I've recently been playing a bit of Tomb Raider Reloaded, a game that isn't actually technically out yet, but I have sourced a quick APK just to have a bit of fun with it. So today I just wanted to upload very quickly a My First Impressions video on this. Of course, this year is the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider, and it's pretty cool, I think, that we've got both Crash Bandicoot on the run and a new Tomb Raider mobile game coming out in the same year. Great time for me to be completely reliving my childhood on a mobile platform. Very excited for this, really enjoying this game, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, if you enjoy this video, let me know by hitting like on it, subscribe to the channel for all things mobile gaming, and let me know if there's a particular game you think I might enjoy playing in the comment section down below, and I'll give it a try out. Otherwise, if you do want to go the extra mile to support this channel, we have a Redbubble merchandise store and a Patreon page where you can come and pledge to support. Anyway, that all said and done then, let's jump right in to Tomb Raider Reloaded. When you first load into Tomb Raider Reloaded, you're given a screen almost like this, and then the FTUE, the first time user experience, plays, which is kind of like a tutorial light. It runs you through the basic gameplay, and it'll teach you where the menus and all of that are and what they do. It is a little bit hand-holdy, but that's, par of the course for a mobile game. It's something as casual as this. It's going to have a large audience, and I think it's a good idea, at least, just to familiarise players with this. I know from experience, having spoken to the guys at Super Bit Machine back when I was making Armajet content, that if you make a first-time user experience optional, almost no one plays it, and then suddenly your Reddit, your Discord, and all of your social media channels are blocked with, how on earth do I do this really basic thing that was covered in the 1-minute FTUE experience that I ignored? Basically, FTUEs are a kind of necessary evil. They protect players from themselves, as silly as that sounds. I know it's easy to turn around and say, well, I played games before tutorials were even a thing at all and you had to read the manual. Different times, different type of genre. Anyway, so the gameplay that we're looking at here is what I believe is referred to as a top-down one-handed shooter. Games like Archero and Magic Survival also kind of fit into this genre. It's not a genre I'm overly familiar with. Those are literally the only two games I can name. And basically, you run around and you shoot things, and when you clear a room like this, you do get a choice of level ups. Now for this, I'm going to go for the bounce shot, because it means if I miss anything, then awesome, I'm going to do a bit more. There's a chance of me still hitting. It's literally you play with just your thumb. You have the stick here at the bottom that moves Lara around, and if you're moving, you're not shooting. So if you want to shoot at something, you do need to stop, and you'll automatically target and automatically start shooting. Just like that, nice and easy. New little upgrade here, let's have a look. Let's go for the major damage boost on this one. These do appear to be randomly generated. The rooms follow a pattern, so if you come through in this same environment, you'll see that it's the same rooms as I'm doing here. Ultimately, that gives you an idea to sort of just get used to what's going on as you run from room to room. You don't have to worry about it all being randomised, but the rewards that you're getting for level up, those do appear to be randomised. Now, if things look like they're ridiculously easy for the moment, it's because I've actually done this stage quite a lot, and I'm into the second area of the game. So I am a little bit overpowered for this, but hey, I wanted to kind of do this without giving away too much in the way of spoilers, so we're going to run through the first stage and just talk about this here. Now, at certain points, you will then get to speak to these angels, who will either heal you 40% of your health or give you a random upgrade. I'm going to go for the random upgrade here, because I am obviously at full health anyway, and we're going to keep moving through the Andean mountains. Andean Mounties? Ultimately, the game does a really great job of introducing you to these little mechanics. Like, you occasionally get these switches on the floor that you need to press to open things up. There are these little lava pits that fill up, and you need to grab the treasure there before it's burnt in the lava. That kind of thing. And every single mechanic and every single enemy is introduced in a really cool little way, usually in a fairly safe room with not much else going on. Like here, these are kind of your first real bats, so it kind of goes, there you are. There's an idea of what bats do. They fly over things, and they can be a little bit annoying to hit, and then, like, here you've got spikes. We've seen bats before, so we know what those do, and we've seen these, weird little sort of, I almost said tiki men. They're not tiki men, they're Andean. The sort of the tribal dudes with the blow dart pipes, which is very reminiscent of the first game. That actually brings me quite nicely to my next little point here. This is literally sort of a redo of the first Tomb Raider, or not, redo is probably the wrong word. It's a strong reference to the first game. So you've got the Andean Mountains. After the Andean Mountains, you go through the Andean caves, into the village of the lost city of Vilhambara, and then there is the Lost Valley, and then it looks like St. Francis Folly, the Greece area, is just after that. So you do kind of, you know, you're going to the areas that you were going to in the first game. It's following the plot and the geography of the first game. Now, Blumenek, that was really easy. Compared to how, like, many attempts that took me the first time through, that was very straightforward. And I will explain why that's, you know, why that is later on, because you do level up and you increase your gear through gameplay, which is pretty cool. And yeah, occasionally you get these devils as well that turn up and say, hey, if I cut your HP by 20%, I'll give you an extra upgrade. Do you want it? And again, we've got new enemies, these little rock-throwing golems. These are sort of not in the original game. The wolves, the bats, and things like that, so far we've seen, those are in the original and the first Tomb Raider. Those little golems aren't quite, but you know what? I'm cool with that. Same with like these frogs. They're just interesting little enemies, and there's the ricochet ability kicking off. And they're just cool little enemies that kind of fit the theme of the game and the area around it, which I'm okay with. You know, this all kind of makes sense, and it's geographically distinct. You can tell this is the Andean Mountains. And you've got things like here, you know, these guys with their bows or their poison darts. No, they are bows. They are bows. Those are obviously very reminiscent and sort of, you know, they're using a sort of, they're codified with the same kind of visual language, is the way I'm going to word it, as you would have in the original game. Now, when I say that, you know, this is a lot easier for me this time than it was on my first run through, that's because, as I said, you do actually level up and get new abilities. You'll notice that occasionally, when an enemy dies, it drops a book, like a little blue book thing. None of these ones have, typically, but occasionally they drop these little blue books, that give you basically an upgrade. They're the items that you use to upgrade, and you can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your backpack, and all kinds of different things. There's a lot of different gear that you're carrying around with you. You find new gear, like I found a spear. I can use a spear instead of my dual pistols, but you know what? This is Lara. What's Lara without her pistols? So yeah, you can upgrade those. I've upgraded the pistols a couple of times. I've got a backpack that gives me more health. And you can upgrade that as well, plus you start finding the actual relics and the things that you're after. Now, I'm a big fan of Tomb Raider. Like, Tomb Raider 1 and 2 were some of the first games I played on the PlayStation back when I first got that in, Christmas 1997, so a long time ago. I have a lot of good memories with the series, like Tomb Raider 2, for example. Tomb Raider 1, I pretty much bumbled through on my own as little 7-8-year-old me, and it was a tough run, I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough run. So by the time Tomb Raider 2 launched, I actually had a guide come with, I think it was Official PlayStation Magazine, a little thin guide that was a step-by-step through Tomb Raider 2. And my sister actually sat down and read the guide to me every time I got stuck. So I would sit there and play the game, and if I got stuck, my sister would sit there and give me advice and help talk through, like, how I could continue. Now, my sister's 6 years older than me, and honestly, I think she would agree and think it's fair for me to say my sister and I don't really get on all that well. We're very different people, very different interests, but that's one of my fondest memories of my childhood with my sister. You know, we didn't do much together at all, but that was a memory that I have of us actually going through, and it was really cool to go through Tomb Raider 2 with sort of her assistance and guidance. So it's a series that is a very close place to my heart, and every Christmas I ended up getting the next Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 3, Tomb Raider Lost Revelation, Chronicles. Was of course disappointed with Angel of Darkness when I eventually got my hands on that one. But I think in honesty my favourite is, believe it or not, it's either the first or the third. I know a lot of people like 2, and I love 2 to pieces, but the first and third were my favourites. Anyway, so given the chance to sit down and actually play a Tomb Raider game like this on my phone, something that references Tomb Raider is always going to be, you know, something I'm pretty cool with. I really enjoyed Lara Croft Relic Run. I know that's, you know, everyone says, oh, it's a Temple Run clone. I actually really liked the things it did different to Temple Run. It did some really unique stuff. And yeah, it's a typical mobile game that has those sort of, you know, pay money in order to advance kind of gates, but again, I don't mind that, considering that otherwise the game is completely free. There we are, boss down. And that's kind of the first run there, and there was one of those books, a supply ore book, I think they're called. So here we then complete off this stage. There's the 20 areas of the first level, ta-da, plus player experience, all the items I got, the acquired abilities I had for this run, so I can see an idea of what I did there. and then we tap to close, and that'll take us back to our main menu. So that's the gameplay. That's how this game plays. And the first thing I'm sure you've noticed already is that there is a little ticket system under the word play, and I can imagine a lot of people are already going, yep, I'm done with this game, it's got an energy system. And I'm kind of the same. I'm not a fan of energy systems at all. That said, I play Eve Echoes pretty much 24/7. There are times when it's just like, oh, I need a break, I need an hour or two away from things, or if I'm just sitting in the car, or the doctor's surgery, or whatever, things like that, like when I was getting the blasted rabies shots, where playing Eve Echoes isn't necessarily possible because I can't get stuck into something. And a game like this works really well, and at that point I don't mind an energy system because, you know what, 5 tickets to play either of these and you've got up to 20 tickets and they do refill fairly quickly. Like when I started this video, I had 10 tickets, I dropped down to 5, I'm already at 7 and I'll be at 8 here before I finish this particular one. Well, obviously I'll be at 3 if I jump in, but I'll be at 8 before I finish talking here, because you can see it's only 1 minute 55 seconds until the next one spawns. So yeah, you are gated on that regard, and you know, that does encourage you to, you know, to pay up if you want to sort of just keep going there, but it refills fairly quickly, so if you're playing in short bursts, it's not really a problem. Now, this is the levelling up that I was talking about here. So you can see there are different slots around. So I've taken Lara's typical dual pistols, and I've upgraded them here using the weapon upgrade books and a certain amount of gold to get this a little bit higher. It's now attack plus 16, which will be plus 3 if I can level it up again, but you can see I'm short 6 of the books. I did have the spear, I've dismantled that to get myself parts to fix the dual pistols up a bit more. I then found this backpack. The backpack here, you can see Mystic Supplies, damage reduction against ranged plus 8%, maximum HP was plus 50, I can pay 3,000 gold here, plus the 7 of these books, which I'm going to do, to give myself that additional 5 HP, so I'm now at plus 55 HP, and it's level 2 of 20. Now you can see there is a bit of graphical artifacting going on at the top of the screen there. I'm not sure if that's just my ROG phone. You guys have seen that it does that in Eve Echoes as well. It could be the fact that this phone ultimately is running anywhere between 60 and 144 Hertz. So I think that we're looking at an early access build here. I think that there is possibility for some enhancements. I mean, look at Lara's face there. You can see that the phone here is displaying probably a little bit too well. We're getting a lot of, there's sort of almost pixelated edges there. Now again, the game is early access, so I can't hate on that too much. You know, it's one of those things that we're not even really early access, it's soft launch. It's, you know, it's still being worked on is my point. Ultimately, things like this are just some rough edges, quite literally, that need to be smoothed off, and I'll be completely frank, I actually really quite like Lara's model here. It harkens back to the original without being ridiculous, and it's got an almost chibi-esque aesthetic to it. But in addition to the other gear I've got here, you can get bracelets, like I've got a thunder bracelet here, there are ammo slots, which I think are going to help you change up how your weapons operate, you get 2 of those, there is a mask slot, and this weird amulet slot as well, so there's going to be a lot of new gear that you can find and you can upgrade, and by the looks of things there are going to be new outfits added as well, but I do only have this particular one at the moment. Can I upgrade? No, can't upgrade now. I don't have enough of the runes, I don't think, but we're getting there. And again, you can see you can upgrade these. So if, like, you know, you're struggling, you can upgrade your gear, and then some people are going to say, oh, pay to win, pay to win, pay to win, and I kind of get where you're coming from. If we have a look at the actual shop now, yeah, you can buy more of the resources and the coins and the different books and things like that, and you can pay to do that, but quite frankly, I'm not sure I would. I may occasionally pay for things like, oh, crikey, that's a big bug right there. Hang on, folks, we'll be back in a second. Crikey, no idea what happened there. Wow, the Asus ROG phone didn't like that. But yeah, you get free stuff in the store, and yeah, you can theoretically pay, and of course, I know a lot of people look and go, oh, there's a £76 pack, that's horrific, it's nasty, I hate it. You don't need it, it's just there if you have that kind of money and you want to burn, and quite frankly, it's like me having a thing on Patreon that says, hey, if you want to do a $1 donation, that's fine, but if you want to do a $100 donation, I'm not going to stop you. You're not really going to get much for it, but yeah, you can. The point is, these resources you can earn through gameplay. Obviously, there is going to come a point where, thanks to the energy system, yeah, your gameplay does kind of, you know, get to a point where you have to stop playing because you're out of those tickets, and you can buy more tickets. Of course you can buy more tickets. Because that's how you're going to monetize a game like this. It is completely free to play, it's not competitive, it's a fun little game to just have running in the background, you know, play it from time to time as you go on, and as you can see here, there's the Andean Caves, the city of Vilcabamba, or Vilcamba, I can never remember how to pronounce it, the Lost Valley, the Tomb of Qualopec, then we fly to Greece for St. Francis Folly, etc. It's just one of those fun games that harkens back to the original Tomb Raider, has a bit of fun going with it, and I'm not going to take this too seriously. Yeah, I probably will pay a few dollars here and there to support this, because it's a cool little game. I'm enjoying playing this so far. And I don't mind an energy system on a game that's quite casual like this, something that I'm just going to use to fill the gap. I have a few games like this on my phone, so the idea here is that if I'm, you know, like, crikey, it's a great year for PS1 enthusiasts, I suppose, isn't it, really? If I'm playing this, and then I run out of energy, and it's like, okay, cool, I'll go and play a bit of Crash Bandicoot on the run, and I'll do that until I run out, and then, you know, so on and so forth, and I can just work it that way. Now, I'll be honest, I do wish that there was a payment option in the store. You know, make it $5, 5, maybe $10. I would pay to just get rid of that energy system completely and never have to worry about it again. And to remove the ads. Now, you haven't even seen adverts, I haven't talked about these, because they're not really front and centre. Occasionally you will find in the runs these little wheels on the floor that you can spin for items, and if you spin them twice, you watch an ad for the second spin, and the first time you die on a run, you can either pay gems to revive yourself, or you can watch an advert to revive yourself, as long as you've got a few adverts, like, spare. Now, you do get exploration rewards as you're going through these different levels in order to get these different parts here, which are really cool, you know, just a little gift there as you're playing through the game. I also have to say, I love the artwork. The artwork there on the Lost Valley is just amazing. I love that so much. If I ended up being like a major content creator on this, God, I'd want that as my Twitter header. Really cool. Speaking of these fun things as well, I have to say, when I started this up and you hear the sort of the gentle, it's that refrain that's at the back of the Tomb Raider 3 intro, and it's like, oh, is it going to? And then the clarinet comes in with that piercing Tomb Raider melody, and oh, I've missed that theme being in a game. So you get like daily rewards, there's a workshop that you can grab other stuff here, you start leveling up and then you collect it, and the longer you're logged into the game, the faster this starts going up, so it gives you an incentive to stay logged in and playing, and you do get these little items that you're trying to find through the levels as well. So the first couple of levels here are a whale, which I found the head of so far, and again that gives you a little bit of extra heal when using the heal from the angel, and you can upgrade this as well, but I'm just sitting here like, I'm not sure I really care about an additional 1% health from the angel right now. It's not important to me, I'd rather save those coins for other things. But I like the fact that the Scion, or the Sion, or however the heck you want to pronounce that, is there as well, obviously from the original game, and I'm looking forward to going a little bit further. So I think what we should do now is just have a jump into the Andean Caves, which is the area I'm on currently, and have a look at this. Of course I'm going to go fast learner, free experience. This is the lucky wheel I was talking about. You get to spin this, and occasionally it'll ask, do you want to spin again? And you just, you watch an advert in order to do so. Pretty non-obtrusive in fairness, but I quite like it. And I like these different transitions between the rooms as well. And again, they introduce new things, like you've got traps here. There we are, these like fire traps. Plus we've got obviously our bats, and on we go. And look, I'm not going to say that this is like, oh, it feels like Tomb Raider. It doesn't. It doesn't feel like a Tomb Raider game at all, but in fairness, that's fine. It's a fun little casual game that's sort of got Tomb Raider flavouring to it. You're playing as Lara, you're running through the areas from the original game. I personally really quite like that. It's a lot of fun, I'm enjoying this so far, I've been playing it literally all day. I picked this up on Saturday morning, I've played it all weekend basically. I've just, my poor Alliance and Corporation probably wondering where the hell I am. Currently exploring Peru, that's where I am. Here we are. Oh, new ability, Ice, Poison, or Nova. Ooh. We're going to go for the Ice one. It slows down enemies. There we are, and we're going to climb up out of here. I'm actually struggling in this area at the moment. The first boss took me a while to get through, and I'm slowly working my way up and through all these others. Now, as I said, there are some things that I'm playing this and I kind of wish were done a touch differently. Like, I get that we're heavily referencing Arch Hero and that here. I really need to pay attention and actually move out of the way of these things. But I would love to see that rather than you just targeting the closest enemy like this, let's add a bit of user input here. Make it so that you can move with the little stick, and if I tap the enemy on the top screen, that's the one that I target. Let my second hand get involved if I want to. To me, that would be a really simple way of just adding a little bit more depth to things so far. Graphically, as I said as well, this might just be the fact that I'm sitting here with an Asus ROG Phone 3, which is, you know, as far as phones go, very much on the upper end of things. And I get that you don't necessarily want everything to be, you know, top of the range and stuff like that. But I would like to see this be able to actually utilize a bit more of my phone's power. I'd like to see those rough edges on some of the graphics shaved off, especially like you saw earlier on the menus. Just, you know, polish it up a little bit. I'd love to see things like those anti-aliasing, maybe add a depth of field, not depth of field, sorry, a sort of a graphical depth slider, so that on certain bits, you know, I can pull up the shadows, I can increase the frame rate, that kind of thing. Gaming phones are getting really powerful these days, and I think it's, you know, worth actually giving players these options. You know, I used to, when I was mainly a console gamer and that, I used to look and think, why do PC gamers need all these options for, like, how they play their games? And now that I'm using a super powerful mobile phone, I kind of get it. I've never really been a PC gamer, so, you know, the PCs I've played games on tend to be very much, oh yeah, it's just it's a crappy little computer, but I have some fun with it, so I'm playing some basic games. Like, the laptop I have at the moment, basically I play the original Unreal Tournament and Doom, plus I've downloaded the original Tomb Raiders, Monkey Island, all these old classic games from my childhood. But yeah, let's go for the poison this time around. As you can see, I'm about to die here, which is not great for me, let's be completely frank. Ooh, move away, move away. I hate the frogs. The frogs are probably my least favourite enemy in this entire thing, because you've got this little period where they're jumping and you just can't shoot them, and then you have to sort of manually target them quickly. And they're just really annoying. They're just annoying to deal with, and, you know, they're frogs, which is wrong. They shouldn't be annoying. They should be cute, and cuddly's the wrong word for a frog, I think, but you kind of get my point. Let's move away from those. There we are, that's him down. There's some more supply on. I do think I'm probably going to die by about the time I hit the boss, which I think is in 2 stages. That's probably when I'll wrap this video up, in fairness, as we hit that particular point. Now, this is actually one of the rooms that I really quite liked. First of all, I'm being chased by wolves, which is very Tomb Raider 1. We then get introduced to this new humongous rock-throwing dude. Then we've got the thing on the plinth there, and you can see 18 seconds, 17 seconds in the top left. I need to get in here, press that button, and get it. And that required me to do the little block puzzle there as well. Ooh, out of the way, frog. It required me to do that little block puzzle almost, first of all, to actually, you know, open the way in there. Then I needed to kill that big guy to get him out of the way. And that's a lot of fun. I like things like that, and I'm hoping that we see more of this as I get further on into the game. Anyway, this is the boss that's given me some serious trouble here. It's a really cool boss. I love the fact that wolves are one of those things that are pretty much associated with the first couple of areas of Tomb Raider. So we're going to have a big boss wolf that throws, you know, digs up dirt and throws it at you, has a piercing howl, and he does summon additional little wolves as well. And you can kind of play this like a bullet hell shooter and just dodge through those, which I really appreciate. For those of you who don't know, whilst I will usually say that Bloodborne is my absolute favourite game of all time, the first ever tattoo I got, and one of the games that I've always been obsessed with since I first played it on the Dreamcast and on the GameCube, is a little bullet hell shooter called Ikaruga, and it's the first tattoo I got. You may have seen it on my arm in certain photos and that. So I do quite like the fact that there's a little bit... This is Tomb Raider bullet hell, which to me is awesome. That's like taking two of my favourite genres and games and mixing them together. Like, if this then turns out that actually, you know, as I'm playing through this, it turns out that the wolves that I've been shooting were once the citizens of Yharnam. I think we've kind of included everything that I could ever possibly want in an intellectual property. Now, hopefully, if I'm not an idiot, I might just be able to pull this guy down. We are getting there. Just got to pay attention, dodge these rocks. There we go. And hopefully... Oh, crikey, 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 crikey. Let's kill that wolf. There we go, come on. Hopefully we can get this guy down. Ah! Although with like 48 health, it's not like I'm going to get particularly far beyond this guy as well. Let's just keep going on the big guy. Ow! Yes! There we are. Kill the little one as well. Grab those runes, which I can use for upgrading. And we get a little lucky wheel spin just to finish things off quite nicely. There we are, yay, some health back, which is going to help me proceed onwards. And here's the one where, as I said, I can go for watching an ad. I'm not going to do that while we're on camera, obviously, so we are just going to proceed onwards with this level. Anyway, folks, this has been my first impressions here of Tomb Raider Reloaded. I am thoroughly enjoying this. Like, look, it's not going to be one of those games that sort of takes me away from everything else. It's very much a casual experience, but you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what you need. Sometimes you need something that's just a little bit fun, a little bit sort of more relaxed and just, you know, not overly serious to play between gaming sessions elsewhere. Or if you're sitting in a car journey somewhere, or you're, you know, just, you know, waiting in a waiting room, or, yeah, I don't know. When you might decide to play this is entirely up to you. For me, this is perfect for, like, when I go for my next COVID shot, when I go for part 2 of that. 100% I'm going to be playing this there in the waiting area. If I go to the doctors, that kind of thing, it's perfect for this kind of thing. It's a great little casual Tomb Raider based experience. It's nothing serious, it's not going to keep you, you know, occupied for days and days and hours and hours and hours, but it's good fun for the time that you have. Now here you can see I've got no adverts left, I don't have enough gems to revive, which is fine by me. I'm just going to end the run there. And we're going to look at what I can level up. But I'm going to do that off video because I've kind of done this enough. So anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Right now, I'm not sure which regions this is actually available to download as the soft launch. I picked this up as an APK. Obviously, I need to say that if you are going to go hunting for an APK, be careful where you download it from, that you're not putting viruses, etc. onto your phone. I'm not going to supply a link for an APK for the simple fact that I do not want to be held responsible for anyone infecting their phone, so do take it carefully, but if you do want to jump in, give this a try. It's a fun little game, and I'm looking forward to actually playing a bit more of this, getting further on, and I might do a video once I hit like the Lost Valley, because heck, everyone loves some dinosaurs, plus once we hit some Francis Folly, I want to know how things go on from there. Anyway, folks, if you're playing this, if you've got sort of a history with Tomb Raider, let me know in the comment section down below. I know this is obviously an unusual camera angle for me to be using on a video as well, so, you know, apologies if you're watching this on, like on PC or something, and it's at an unusual angle, but hey, there we go, it's a portrait mobile game. Watch this on your phone next time. Ha ha ha. Otherwise, folks, happy sailing, and I'll see you all next time.